All right, we're going to kick this thing off. Today, we're happy to do this webinar. We're joined with a couple folks here. We're going to announce that and who they are in just a second here. But this webinar is, you can see on the title slide, scaling meal delivery through Project Dash partnerships and connected data. We thought this was. We had some conversations with a customer of ours in South Florida, which is Jennifer Westcott, which you see here her picture, and we're talking with her about some exciting things that they're doing with DoorDash. And so we reached out to Daniel. Daniel Riff is on here as well with us, and they were excited to put this little session together. And I'll kind of have some commentary in a couple different areas here. We've got a couple polls we're going to share with you, and we're excited to go. And Jennifer, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Westcott. I'm from Meals on Wheels, South Florida, and I'd like to apologize. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty with my camera, but I blame the heat. So very happy to be here. And thank you, Greg and Daniel, for having me today.
Yeah, even further south and further, or probably a little warmer, maybe.
Yes.
Daniel, I can't remember where you're joining us from, but welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today in the session. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me. Daniel Riff. I'm based in New York. I live in Brooklyn. Excited to be here with all of you today. I lead government and nonprofit operations at DoorDash, including our work through Project Dash, supporting Meals on Wheels programs around the country as a home delivery partner.
Great. Thankfully, that Brooklyn Bridge didn't burn down on July 4th, so everything's good on that
Thankfully,
front.
close call.
Traffic's still flowing, slowly probably, but that's okay. My name is Greg Prosser, Senior Vice President of Partnerships and Alliances here at Caseworthy. Of course, I have a long history with ServTracker. I was the former president and CEO of Accessible Solutions prior to us joining Caseworthy several years back. So I'm excited to help facilitate the session here. Today, we're going to talk about really a few key segments of this webinar. First is going to be Daniel kind of kicking things off, talking about Project Dash and expanding the delivery capacity. So for organizations delivering meals, he's going to get into how you can maybe have a little bit greater reach and address some challenges with volunteers and things along those lines with last minute additions to kind of pull in the DoorDash team to help you with that process. Jennifer is then going to transition, talk about their organization and how this has helped solve some challenges that they have as an agency. And then I'm just going to talk a little bit about ServTracker at the end of that, kind of wrap things up with some data points on how ServTracker helps organizations and a little bit about the Caseworthy platform. But that being said, we're going to jump into Project Dash. Go ahead, Daniel.
Great. Thanks, Greg. Really excited to chat with you all about Project Dash and how we work with Meals on Wheels organizations and other nonprofits all over the country. This is our discounted delivery offering for our nonprofit partners. You can go to the next slide. So Project Dash is essentially the use of DoorDash as a home delivery service for nonprofit organizations. We are not providing the food, and no one is using the DoorDash app, which you might be familiar with. Instead, it is just organizations like yours that are requesting delivery support to help expand your reach and to fill delivery gaps as needed. So since 2018, when we launched this program, we've done more than 8 million deliveries with our partners, which have delivered more than 135 million meals across the country. We work with hundreds of nonprofit organizations, and the team that I lead is solely focused on understanding the needs of nonprofits and how DoorDash's platform can be valuable. We partner with more than 100 Meals on Wheels providers around the country that some use our platform on a consistent basis to help with delivery needs. Some use us maybe once a year. It really is whenever you need it to fill delivery gaps. We have some logos up here of some of our Meals on Wheels partners. Beyond the Meals on Wheels space, we have partners all over the country, different types of organizations. This is probably about a quarter of our partners around the country. You can see a lot of food banks, a lot of Meals on Wheels organizations, and a fair number of other types of entities, hospitals, pantries, school districts. Really, we have partners of many shapes and sizes. And Project Dash is also available in communities all over the country. So some people think of DoorDash as an urban, maybe a suburban solution, but about 20% of our deliveries actually do happen in rural communities. And we do have pretty consistent delivery coverage in communities of at least a few thousand people. We're always happy to check and let you know in advance what our coverage looks like in your area. These dots that you see here represent communities where we've done at least 50 deliveries, and this map is actually a bit outdated. So we've launched in many more communities since then. But just to give you a sense of where we have partners that have used us. But let's say you're in Montana and you see a blank spot up there. That does not mean we can't help with delivery there. We would love to. This is just where we've had partners use us to date. So in terms of what specifically DoorDash can help with through Project Dash, so we have partners that use us to deliver prepared meals, frozen meals, groceries, even non-food items, pet food, diapers, whatever it may be. And essentially, we can help with delivery within a 10 or a 15-mile delivery radius. I'll get into those options a bit later on. But you all basically determine where you want the Dashers to come and pick up from. And then from any given pickup location, whether that's your main facility, a satellite facility, Dashers can then deliver up to that 10 or 15-mile radius from there. And you can have as many pickup points as you want. So if you cover a pretty broad service area, you could set up several distribution points and have essentially a hub and spoke model. In terms of how our Meals on Wheels partners use us, number one reason is to fill delivery gaps. We have a lot of partners who are more seasonal. Maybe it's in the winter that you have more challenges with covering routes. Maybe it's in the summer. It can also be very last minute. We only need 1 hour's notice to do deliveries. So it could be a volunteer or staff that are out that day, and then we could help with getting the food out that same day to your seniors. We also have clients who reduce their wait lists or expand their capacity. Maybe you're adding on a new geographic area to cover and you don't yet have volunteers out there. Well, you build up that volunteer base. We can help with deliveries in the meantime. And really the one of the other number one reasons we hear that partners use us is it often falls on other staff who are not delivery personnel to do these deliveries. And we want to help give you that time back so you can focus on your primary role, and we can help with the deliveries. So I mentioned that we just need 1 hour's notice to do deliveries. Essentially, if your organization chooses to partner with us, then you get a DoorDash account where we train you how to use that. You upload a list of deliveries that includes someone's address, their name, any delivery instructions, and then our system does the rest. So you don't need to do the routing. You just upload a spreadsheet of where you want us to do the drops. And then our system automatically creates routes of up to 10 deliveries at once. So if you have a route of, say, 18 seniors, our system would probably break that up into two different Dashers to come and do those deliveries.
Nice. One thing I was just going to mention, I know we got a couple polls here, and this is kind of an unofficial thing, but if there are some of your organizations on this call that are currently using DoorDash and are doing some of this effort, maybe you can just post a little something in the chat session there, just to kind of give us a sense of who's already engaged with Daniel's team and is using this service. So I'd be kind of interested to see.
Yeah, that'd be great. The portal that you have access to where you are submitting those deliveries, this is what it looks like. You can track everything in real time. You can see where the driver is. And you can also see, how long it took the Dasher to complete a delivery. Once they completed, it goes into your history tab. All of this updates in real time and is available at your fingertips. In terms of the delivery experience from the client perspective, so they are, again, not doing anything with our app. They don't need to have the DoorDash app. They get text messages with the status of their order. I know that may be more helpful for some seniors than others. We often hear it is fairly helpful. They can even click into a tracking link to see where the driver is. And you choose what happens at drop off. So on the next slide, we have a few options available for what you can see. If we can jump to that next one. So we have a few options depending on what works best for your program. You can have the Dasher leave the meals at their doorstep, hopefully hand them to someone, but if not, leave it at the doorstep and take a photo. You can also instruct the Dasher to call you. If the senior is not home, I know obviously in most cases the senior should be home and able to receive the meals, but in case they're not, the Dasher can call you. We also have partners that want the Dasher to return those meals to where they picked them up from, which is a small additional fee, but that's also available to you. And then we also want to be clear that we know this is typically not the core model for how your programs operate. You typically have staff or volunteers that are doing these deliveries. You want to build relationships with and maintain those relationships with the seniors that you're delivering to, doing wellness checks, and really getting to know them. We understand that that is not the role that Dashers are playing. They are different from volunteers and staff, but they are great at getting food to seniors when there may not be other easy options available. We often, tell partners that we operate essentially as a much more flexible local courier service. So Dashers are background checked. They do go through that process to be on our platform, but they are not performing wellness checks. They are simply getting the food from one place to another. Often when we start to work with organizations, they will, if they have Dasher delivering to those seniors, maybe they'll do a phone call just to check in on the seniors. That's supplemental to the actual delivery. But we do have partners who, see that this really helps them in a pinch and helps expand their capacity in ways that they were not able to do before.
And then, question for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
So if I know that the primary focus is not like on the wellness check aspect, but if one of the Dashers is making a delivery and they like, oh man, I noticed something that's really of a concern, would they typically send a text or a message and say, hey, you might want to be aware of something that I just saw?
Yeah, so they would, in that situation, they can call the number of the organization they picked up from. So they would call the local Meals on Wheels to notify. We also have Meals on Wheels partners who give that direction to Dashers when they come to pick up. They say, hey, if you notice anything unusual, please call that number. Please let us know. Some even include it in the delivery instructions that, if you notice something unusual, please call us at this number. I did a delivery route for Meals on Wheels San Antonio last year. On my second stop, the senior was being taken away in an ambulance. I know these things can happen, unfortunately, and Dashers also, can communicate that to you when they see things that are very concerning.
Nice. This is a little sideways, but I got a relative that does some DoorDash part-time work, and she's always saying, hey, Dashers this, Dashers that. And I'm like, are you making up this Dashers language? She's actually not. They're called Dashers. So there you go.
They are. It's a real word we've made up.
There you go.
And then I just have one more slide here just on our pricing. So we offer discounted rates to nonprofit partners, to any 501c3, including to any Meals on Wheels provider. And we do not profit on Project Dash, nor are we trying to. These rates primarily go toward paying the Dashers for doing these deliveries. The Dashers get paid just like as if they were doing other types of orders on the DoorDash platform. There are no tips included in the Project Dash orders, but the way they are paid accounts for that, so that if they're doing, let's say, an hour or two of Meals on Wheels deliveries, they're making about the same amount of money they would on other types of orders. So we often see pretty high Dasher satisfaction with these deliveries. On the pricing, we have two different options. One is a 10-mile radius rate. So if all the clients you're looking to deliver to are within 10 miles of the pickup point, your rate is locked at $4.95 per order. If you want a 15-mile radius, then all of your deliveries are priced at that $5.95 point. So you have a flat fee, either $4.95 or $5.95 for all of your deliveries. Again, based on if you want the 10 or 15-mile range. And just for your awareness, generally our delivery rates for commercial partners are between 7 and 11, depending on a wide number of factors. And then I think that's all we have here. Greg, I see we have a hand raised. Should we jump to
Yeah.
Jennifer, or should I take these
Maybe
now?
Linda, just let me ask you the hand raise. I don't know if you see that there, what that question is. Maybe if you let me know if we should interject that now or save it.
I can jump in.
Okay.
Our first question was asking for connection if we have any in Ontario, Canada. So, Daniel, I can get you that information and we can get that over to her.
That'd be great. My team also supports Canadian partners, and we have had conversations with Meals on Wheels organizations in Ontario, and I'd be happy to chat with you about that, Michelle.
And the second hand raise was just a comment coming from Rose at Meals on Wheels of America. And she said that there is some additional details on their website. So we'll make sure we get that information out as well.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jennifer, we're going to hand this over to you.
Thank you so much. We are ready for our first slide. That's just our intro slide that we can move to the About Us. Our organization has been around since 1984, and for nearly 40 years, we were 65% federally funded under the Older Americans Act. And in the summer of 2023, that contract was actually awarded to another provider. So as such, we quickly entered into a restructuring mode, moving from a government contractor essentially to a 100% donor-based organization. And we started quickly researching other grant opportunities, other local partners, other national partners. And we don't just provide meal services, we actually provide meals and grooming for companion pets of our seniors. We do grocery shopping assistance, nutrition education, and emergency meals for seniors that come out of the hospital. So 2023 was a restructuring mode for us, and we can just quickly move to the next slide. It's a little bit more about those of you who are a Meals on Wheels chapter, you know that we are so much more than a meal. And the three pillars of what we do is, of course, the friendly visits, nutritious meals, and safety checks. And those are very important. So when we were looking into new opportunities, something very interesting fell into our laps. Next slide. There we go. In the summer of 2024, we were actually invited to a Project Dash pilot program through our membership with Meals on Wheels America. And as Daniel mentioned, Dashers are not meant to replace our volunteers. They're simply filling the gaps when they're on vacation or otherwise unavailable. So we researched it. We realized it was a great fit for us. We're a very small agency in the sense that we have about 10 staff members, but we serve a very large county. Broward County is very large, very spread out. And once we quickly realized it would be a good opportunity for us, we decided to apply. The initial 6-month grant ran through December of 2024, which was absolutely amazing during the holiday season when many of our volunteers were out and on vacation. And once we saw this proof of concept and the value added, we actually decided to apply for a second round of funding. And that funding came directly from DoorDash themselves. So we researched it, we decided to go for it, and this new grant would be from November of 2025 to April of 2026. Next slide. So the challenge was, what if we expanded the radius? Like Daniel just mentioned, there's a 10 or a 15-mile radius. Our initial grant was to be able to deliver within 10 miles of our office. But for the second round of funding, we really decided to think outside the box. Since Broward County is so large and spread out, what if we expanded the radius? How many more seniors could we serve? How many more meals could we provide through Project Dash? Next slide.
Yeah, and this is a good time. We're going to actually go prompt for a poll at this point. We had a poll asking about what some of the challenges are that your organizations are facing, where this may be a really helpful additional service that you could add to your program. So we're going to see this dash, the Project Dash poll pop up on your screen here. Please go ahead and we'll give you just 30 seconds, answer that, and we'll let you know what the results of that is, kind of what the peers on this call are number of primary issues or challenges that they're facing on a daily basis. All right. Polls up. We're going to go to the next. Actually, yeah, it's going to show us here. I don't know if you see the results. So basically, we've got 69% of you has said that there's just not enough volunteers to get the work done. The next one kind of came in at some of the rising transportation and fleet costs. 16% of you indicated that. We've got 9% just scheduling and routes and kind of hard to manage some of these deliveries. And then reaching clients from in rural areas, and some are saying, hey, I don't have any major challenges right now. So that kind of gives you a sense of what your peers are saying that they're seeing in the force right now. So.
That's amazing. So the next steps were we decided to dive into our ServTracker CXM software to run reports regarding the previous DoorDash grant. How many more clients could we reach? How many new areas could we cover? How many more meals could we deliver through Project Dash? And we ultimately decided to build the grant application around expanding the radius because of the holidays and our limited staff capabilities. And once we built the application, we built the data, we built everything in there. The great news is we ended up receiving the grant. So we can go to the next slide and talk a little bit more about our impact.
Yeah, and the last thing you were saying on that slide too, I think is pretty impactful. Like the volunteers are not necessarily always available during the holidays, right? And so that
absolutely
is a great gap filler as well.
November and December was a huge DoorDash month for us.
Awesome.
And the results through this grant period ending April 2026 was approximately 400 deliveries during this grant period. This allowed us to reach more than 3 new communities, including areas very far south from our office, such as Hollandale Beach, Hollywood, Miramar, even further north like Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach. These are areas that are, obviously 15 miles away from us. Sometimes you can't find a last-minute volunteer or a substitute volunteer to jump in and make those deliveries. And we never want our clients to miss a meal. If we can't find someone, one of our staff members is jumping in their car and taking the meals themselves because we never want them to go without their meals. And the second round of funding gave us a new community partner. So we're showcasing the importance of our service. We're partnering with DoorDash. We're using our ServTracker CXM software. So these community partners that we're all working with together are making us stronger in the long term.
Nice.
And the key takeaways really are, we know that the innovation, it doesn't replace people. It simply supports them. When you have a small team, you've got a small but mighty staff, this innovation is really, really helping you. And the partnerships that we have expand our impact. We're showing what we're doing in the community on social media. People are seeing this impact. And it's truly remarkable, the response we've had from this program. And also the data, that tells our story. We know that funders love data, volunteers love data, board members love data. And it's really just amplifying your partnerships, whether you're showcasing it in a social media post, an email marketing blast, or your annual report. That data is showing how many more seniors you can serve through Project Dash. And the tech that's out there today, it's helping us create operational flexibility. It's helping us be more efficient, more effective, whether it's a CRM, whether it's AI, all the tech that we have at our disposal is helping us be more efficient in serving seniors. And at the end of the day, that's all we really care about is serving our clients. And truly, these data-driven strategies are giving us better reporting, which leads to better funding opportunities. When people see what you're doing, they want to invest in you. They want to do business with you because they're seeing the impact you're having in your community. And thanks to Project Dash and Caseworthy, we've been doing that for over 2 years now. So it's been amazing. Next slide. And this is just a quick overview, kind of touching on what Daniel mentioned, how easy it is to apply. You can visit their website and really complete the interest form. Schedule a quick meeting with them. Dive a little bit deeper into the pricing, the grant opportunities, see if it's a good fit for your agency. One thing I love about Project Dash and DoorDash is the real-time support that's 24/7. If you have, say, an issue with a delivery, maybe you think it's taking too long, maybe you want to check in on something, you can call them, give your order number, check on the delivery. We just had an incident last Thursday where the the Dasher got a flat tire. We felt so bad for them. So we had to cancel that delivery, reschedule the delivery, but it's very seamless. I really can't say enough about how easy it is to work with DoorDash. Once you complete the onboarding process, it's a very quick demo. You can kind of go through the process step by step with them. It's a very quick kind of MOU contract you're signing with them. They make it very seamless for you to sign up and partner with them. And the people that we've worked with have truly been a pleasure to work with. So, thanks to Meals on Wheels America for really kicking this off with us, and the DoorDash team for making this a reality, because together we are doing so much more than a meal. We are impacting seniors in our community. And that's, at the end of the day, what makes us so happy. So I just want to thank everyone that's part of this. It's such a powerful, impactful partnership, and we couldn't be happier to be a partner. So thank you very much.
The other unspoken thing that's really cool too is you can start saying Dasher as you're part of your regular vocabulary.
We say it every day.
That's,
we love it.
That's one of the best parts. All right, we're going to prompt you with another poll. All right, how would you describe your current service area relative to your resources?
Hey, Greg, while they answer that, we had a question from Stacy, who joined a little bit late. She was asking if this was funded by a grant. Is there some information you can repeat for her on that while we're waiting?
Yeah, I know there were some grant opportunities that were available when Jennifer initially did this in 24 and 25. I guess I heard that Rose is on there, or Daniel. I don't know if there's some other funding opportunities or grants available for the program at the moment or upcoming.
Yeah, it's a good question. So DoorDash does provide financial support to Project Dash partners, often to help them expand their programs. Currently, the grant funding we have available is like what Jennifer talked about, where it's for current Project Dash partners if they're looking to expand their use of Project Dash, rather than for new partners joining. That said, we do have a number of partners who choose to begin partnering with us for one of two reasons. One being that they find partnering with us is more cost effective than paid staff covering delivery gaps. When they crunch the numbers and do the cost analysis, that's not always true for every program, but it is often true for many of our partners. And then we also have partners that have gotten some small funding from local foundations or local government or other funders to help start their Project Dash program.
That's great. Thank you for that. All right, so let's see what the results of the second poll. So 45% saying they do have capacity to serve more clients. So that's an amen. That's great news. 28% are saying you're at capacity with the resources you currently have available. 24% of you are saying you've got a wait list. So that's not what we want to hear. Boo. We want to figure out how to get those folks off the wait list, obviously. And then a few of you are saying that 3% that we're not sure, we need better data. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about ServTracker. And on this call, we've got existing customers, we've got organizations that are looking for new technology solutions. So we're not going to go too deep and granular and doing product demo, but just kind of a little bit of an overview of ServTracker on how organizations are using it to track their aging service programs. So really kind of as a high level to start with here, the ServTracker application, which is part of the Caseworthy platform, is a powerful and easy to use application, best-in-class solution that's really purpose-built for organizations providing certain types of services. Within the kind of easy to use aspect, we do have some mobile technologies as well. Obviously, Daniel's kind of showing some of what they have on the DoorDash side of the front here, but we also, of course, with ServTracker, have a mobile home care app. We've got a mobile meals app, and those things are really powerful tools to help you automate and do seamless real-time deliveries and service providing provisions out into the field, which in the home care front as well, it's really classified as an EVV, electronic visit verification application, which also expands the potential funding aspect of the business as well to allow for Medicaid funding and potentially even managed care insurance providers even Medicare related funding options as well. And we utilize our EDI billing platform, which is called Claim Exchange, to help manage that billing of those services for organizations as well. It's very, again, aging specific. It allows you, if you're a Meals on Wheels organization, that's really our focus of today's call, allows you to really customize meal plans, any types of meals you offer, meal types, diet types, funding streams, how you set up your routes and territories and drop sites and things along those lines. In addition, on that customization, we also do offer and have features built into the application allow you to manage meal choice or not only the meal choice, but menu choice. So some organizations are doing like, hey, you can offer choice A or choice B today. You let us know what you want. We've got a user experience that allows easy selections within the application to do that. But a lot of organizations too have even transitioned to like full meal choice, where you might have 30 entrees a day that are available for folks to pick from. A lot of organizations in sides and beverages and breads and desserts and things like that can also be customized as well with that meal selection. A lot of organizations doing like once a week frozen deliveries or every other week frozen deliveries are transitioning to that choice program, which is another significant element in the offering as well. It does allow you to do membership management, track payments or dues for organizations that might more typically have like in-facility services, a senior center, congregate dining sites, things along those lines. And again, allowing you to really configure a service authorization any way you want, different routes on different days of the week, different types of meals on different days of the week, or the same day. You could certainly do that well. So again, a lot of scheduling capabilities in there. And the types of organizations using it really are broad. So we've got nutrition providers, a big part of what we're doing on this call today, but we've got home care agencies, adult day organizations, senior centers, and those agencies can span from federal state organizations. We've got statewide deployments down to individual service providers that are not-for-profit. Some are fully donor funded, some are private pay funded, and again, some getting Older American Act funding, getting managed care funding, things along those lines. So really just a big spectrum of organizations that can utilize the ServTracker application to help you manage those delivery needs that you have. The really focus of a lot of that is for saving you time, right? Automating some of the things that are those daily tasks from intake, service auth to service delivery to make it more streamlined, more efficient. And again, because the application is purpose-built, it's very specifically designed for what your organizations are doing, the deliveries that you make, the services that you provide, the clients that you're serving within those capacities. We're certainly trying to reduce paper costs, reduce errors, give you more visibility. As you know, we've got, again, the mobile technologies. We also have dashboards as well in the application to let you see when those meals were delivered, when a client didn't answer the door because they weren't home or something may be happening, and alerts can be sent to the office in real time so that your folks can be very responsive to figure out what might be happening, and then also can queue up a redelivery. So if you go to deliver a meal, nobody answers the door, they may say move on to the next stop. But if that coordinator gets in contact with that client and says, oh, I found out they were using the restroom, go ahead and redeliver the meal. They can circle back, get that meal delivered to that client, and make sure that nutrition is being provided to that individual. And while you're there, of course, doing that wellness check as well. And then easier and more accurate reporting. So lots of different standardized reporting options. But in addition to some of the standard baseline reports, let you see how many people you served, unduplicated client counts, total units of service provided, broken down by funder, by service, by funder, and in some cases more granular by meal type, by diet type, by route, by site. All those types of things are easy, but we also have a customized configurable query builder. So it allows you to extract really unique data sets. I know Jennifer mentioned this. You've got board members, you've got commissioners that all want access to data. And so getting your hands on that data easily and quickly is what's critical. And we provide those types of tools for you to allow you to get access and insights to those services that you're providing, the people that you're serving as well. We've really got a kind of a spectrum of organizations that utilize the Caseworthy platform. And really this slide illustrates the broad spectrum of that. We've got deployments that are statewide. So from the State Unit on Aging, area agencies on aging utilizing our client track application on the Caseworthy platform that seamlessly integrates to ServTracker, the direct service providers making those deliveries. And we've got some of those statewide deployments right now in South Carolina. We're integrating and implementing in Ohio. So those individuals utilizing ServTracker can feed data to their AAA, to that state unit on aging without any additional file uploads, duplicate entry. The data is going to seamlessly flow through. And the best part of that is that all of that data, whether you're at the state, the AAA, or the service provider, all gets aggregated into our core data lakehouse. So it allows that analysis across the network of all the people you're serving, all the services, the funding streams, managing that against your contracts, how much was allocated for Title III C1 funding or C2 funding this year, how much have we used, breaking that down to AAA, to service provider, et cetera. Really powerful when you look at the whole platform in full use. On the ServTracker side, again, this is a little screenshot of the mobile app, and the background there's the application itself, but dashboards within the application that let you see this in real time. The mobile apps let you, of course, take advantage of that paperless meal delivery and real-time updates back to the office. It also helps even from a safety perspective. You got GPS navigation. The driver's not needing to look down at the route sheets about where they need to go next. They can just listen to the phone, whatever the GPS application is of choice. If it's Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, things along those lines, you can utilize what your preference is, and it will notify the driver of the next turns and how to get to that next client. So really powerful. Also, when you're making those deliveries, it gives you the opportunity to do electronic signatures. So some funders, especially when we think about managed care funding, they want a proof of delivery. They want a signature that was captured at the time of delivery, and the app can support that as well and allow you to run reports when you get monitoring for a particular payer or funder that says, hey, I need to see a list of all the PP delivered on this date and on this route, and verify a signature was captured. You can do that. You also can record the amount of time the drivers are spent, the mileage that they drove, and of course, document your wellness checks as well. And feedback, if the driver wants to make a note, send something back to the main office, it allows them to do that as well. All right, so I think I'm going to do the poll here as I'm talking about this slide, because I meant to do that earlier now, poll number 3, but kind of summarizing, I think the message here is we want you to let technology work for you, not against you. So being able to collect, integrate, analyze, and apply that data allows you to tell your story more effectively, to provide opportunities to go seek additional funding, right? Or expand funding to existing payers when you're trying to tell that story and say, listen, we're so thankful and grateful for the funding that you're providing us, but look at how many more people we can serve based upon the data. There's more clients that need service. We've got clients that are on a wait list, or whatever the circumstance might be. So really allowing you to, again, let the data work and tell your story, and hopefully give you an opportunity to expand your operation and organization's needs. So this was asking, what's your biggest barrier to using data for funding? And there was a handful of options listed there. The number 1 came back: reports are hard to build or customize. So that's something that's always important. And that's 2 where we talk about like the query builder. One of the other things just to touch on real quick in regards to reporting specific to ServTrackers, we're also introducing, not only do we have some baseline reports and we have the configurable query builder, but we talked on that slide a couple back here about the core platform, the data lakehouse. Well, that data lakehouse integrated into ServTrackers being released in the next few months here, that's going to give you access to real-time dashboarding tools through Power BI. It's actually managed in our by Microsoft's Fabric data lakehouse solution. So it allows you to build, not only to visualize data and lots and slice and dice data and look at it in real time, but also the access to build, if you choose to do so, custom configurable Power BI reporting options as well. So that's going to be a huge bonus for a lot of organizations, either existing customers or agencies that are interested in moving forward with ServTracker. Data's scattered across various systems was kind of tied at number 2 in this list here, along with, we don't see data as a major barrier. So we got We got two contradicting things there that were came in the number 2 slot: lack of staff time or expertise, which is what's going to be so really critical with some of the baseline report options and or some of the Power BI visualizations that we've built into the system. There's going to be hundreds of ways you can analyze data. It's going to be really slick. And when we finally get that into the hands of our customers, we spent a lot of time building that out over the last 6 months. So it's pretty powerful. And there's some folks that are saying the current system that you have just doesn't capture what you ultimately need. So those are some of the different polls that we wanted to get some of that data back, and we can share and utilize that. I think it's all valuable, beneficial information. I know I asked, I don't know how many of you are currently using DoorDash today to supplement your programs. I think it provides a ripe opportunity. Maybe Daniel, I know you can get on the video here. I know Jennifer, you can't, but this is an opportunity now for additional questions that some of you may have that we would love to share responses to, or anything. I don't know if there's anything on through any one of our team members as well that are on the call that want to add something to what's already been asked here. But
I'll just add, I see a question in the Q&A just around if Client Track can be used with the service. I'll just say that we do have multiple partners, including Jennifer, that use ServTracker and are using Project Dash and have developed pretty clean ways to export the data you have into basically the process to upload orders into DoorDash. And so they can work pretty well together. And work pretty well together for many of our partners.
You can also add to that, I don't know if Jennifer, you're going to say something, but I know when we talked and kind of worked through how you're extracting data from ServTracker today, there's essentially in where you build the roster of deliveries, there's an easy way to filter that down to a specific route or group of routes that you want to then export that data to a spreadsheet. You're then utilizing that data, I believe, in that format to then kind of paste into the template that DoorDash provides that they want the data uploaded to their system in. But it makes that process pretty easy. And I don't know if there's anything you would want to expand on that.
Absolutely. I have a team member who runs our routes daily. So she'll tell me, hey, so-and-so is out on vacation or out sick today. Can you put this client on DoorDash? So absolutely. So she'll export the client route sheet from CXM. She'll send it to me. And then I enter it into the DoorDash spreadsheet that's provided to us. We have specific fields we need to fill out. I make sure everything is correct. I upload it to the portal, and then I keep the portal open so I can kind of keep an eye on it in real time, kind of give the client an estimated delivery time. We typically try to do a 2-hour window. So we'll tell, hey, it's coming between 10 and 12 or 1 and 2, depending on what they need. Some clients love a morning delivery. Some clients love an afternoon delivery. So we try to be as flexible as possible with our clients and with the DoorDash portal, respectful of the time that they have to use. As Daniel mentioned, they kind of want at least a 1 hour or 2-hour window. So when you're scheduling deliveries, you try to be as easy as possible to kind of get them in there. But sometimes emergencies happen. We need to schedule something, on a quick notice. But it's a very easy and seamless process to upload things to DoorDash. And then you can also export things from DoorDash. You can export your own reports from DoorDash. You can actually go in there and say, how many deliveries did we do last month? I can't remember. Let me go in there and pull a quick report from there as well. So you can run reports on both programs simultaneously, or you can just pull a report for a specific day or week.
Excellent. That's great feedback. Any other questions, comments?
There's one new question that just came in.
Okay.
Do you have to enter each client delivery manually into DoorDash template?
Yes, you do, because there's specific fields that need to be in the spreadsheet. All the client information. As Daniel mentioned, the dashers do not see the client's last name. It's just, Tom J. But everything needs to be in there specifically as it is, because one number, it's going to go to the wrong house. So if one number's wrong, it's going to go to the wrong place. So we need to make sure that we're entering everything correctly. We need to be very efficient on that, because we have had that happen, from other people doing it. We have a few people that have access to the portals. So sometimes dashers get lost. They need to call us back and say, hey, I can't find this address. Where is it? So everything needs to be entered manually into the DoorDash spreadsheet.
And I'll also add, we have partners that use us in different ways. So we have many partners that use us, as Jennifer is describing, sort of filling gaps as they come up. We have some other partners who know maybe it's these two routes every Monday are uncovered right now. Maybe it's we just lost our volunteer who is doing those, covering those routes for us. And so it's basically the same deliveries we're doing every week. And so in that case, it's fairly simple to just have that spreadsheet you fill out with everyone's information. And then each week you just change the date on it and submit it again. There's some ways where it's simpler to input the data than others.
Yeah. And again, I would add, I think even the manual population of that template today can be supplemented by accessing the data pretty easily and exporting it out of ServTracker to make that process easier, hopefully for you, Jennifer, right? Like on what you need to fill in.
Yeah, sometimes when we have, for example, next Monday, if we know that Tom is on vacation, we'll do that ahead of time. So Tom has 6 clients on his route. So what we'll do is my colleague will export that from CXM and she'll send it to me, and we'll kind of space the routes out a little bit because we're in South Florida and we do frozen meal deliveries. We do frozen and shelf stable deliveries. So it's very important that our meals are not left outside. So maybe we'll give one dasher 3 and we'll give the other dasher 3 just to kind of space it out a little bit. But we do get advance notice sometimes, so we can kind of strategically plan when we're going to plan the DoorDash deliveries. But like I said, sometimes someone will call out sick and we have to kind of rush and kind of upload everything quickly.
And I see a question in the chat around, is there a section in the DoorDash spreadsheet for special delivery instructions, including like what types of food you're sending out? So yes, there is a special, there's a delivery or drop-off instructions column that you can populate. It can be something specific to that person. It can be, leave at the back door, that type of description. In terms of the descriptions of items, our system just needs to know basically the number of like bags or boxes that they're going to be picking up. So you would put, for a number of items, 2 if it's 2 bags. In terms of what they're actually, let's say, you have, the bread and the fruit and something else in one bag. All our system really needs to know is how many bags to tell the dasher to expect to pick up. So they don't need to know the details of every item. But they just need to know this is basically what's going to this person when I get to their residence.
Excellent.
And I'll just add, like, we know that there's different approaches to what each Meals on Wheels provider is delivering in each location. That's part of why we work closely with your team. If you do move forward with a partnership with us, so we can understand what your model is and we can make recommendations on what specifically to include in that spreadsheet to make it work for you.
Yeah, Daniel, I just want to add that, in our spreadsheet, it's very important that we put the meals cannot be left outside. Most dashers know that. And, when they come to our front desk, one thing I forgot to mention that, I love is that they're asking us questions. What do you do here? Oh my gosh, Meals on Wheels. Can I have a flyer from my grandma? Can I volunteer? So while they're waiting for their deliveries, they're also being educated on what we do. And that's a great benefit. So we make sure to tell them when they come to the front desk, this is one frozen box. This is one shelf stable box. Please don't leave it outside. If they're not home, bring it back to the office, no problem. And we pay a very small delivery fee for the return delivery, but it's fine because we don't want anything being left outside. So an added benefit is really talking to the dashers and saying, we'd love to have you come out and volunteer for Thanksgiving or come out another time. So we're educating them on the importance of what we're doing in the community. So that's something that we really love, is chatting with the dashers when they come in.
And Stacy, this is a great question around, is there a client delivery minimum? So each time you request DoorDash support for deliveries, we ask that it be for at least 5 stops so we can create a good route for the dashers. If there are, occasional times when you need our help for, 2 or 3 people, that's okay. But we want the norm to be at least 5 that you have us delivering to anytime that you're requesting our help. In terms of if you choose to move forward with a partnership with us, there's no obligation in partnering with us. There's no minimums. If you don't use us in a given month, there's just no invoice for deliveries that month. And as I mentioned before, it is very common for Meals on Wheels partners to use us seasonally and to go through periods where they don't need our support.
That's awesome. All right. So at the moment, we don't have any more questions. I'll just hesitate for a second here. I guess I'll say, as we're waiting to see if there's any more questions that come in, and there is one that just came in, but I do want to thank everybody for attending. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Jennifer, the ones that were supporting us here on the call as well and putting this all together. I appreciate all your help, and thanks for joining us in this really informational session. I think it was valuable. We've talked about doing this for a while. I'm glad we were able to do this because I think there's a lot of organizations out there that really could benefit from this type of program. As there are others, like integrations that we have too with other partners. It's I think the strength in numbers is really valuable in this case, and I think adding DoorDash DoorDash and their dashers to your network is really valuable. So I think we just answered that. Resolva, maximum. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the maximum, there's a maximum per dasher, but there's not a maximum number of orders we can complete for you. So for each individual dasher or driver, we usually cap that at 10. And we mainly do that for food safety reasons, just for the food is not out on the road for too long. So each driver is usually picking up to 10, but there's no maximum in terms of, we have had partners that submit hundreds of orders to us for a given day, and we will fulfill those. Obviously, if you're in a super small community, we should talk about our how much we can do there. But generally, there's no maximum for how much we can help with.
Great. Yep.
That's correct. Yep. 10 per dasher maximum, but if you submit more than 10, it would just be multiple dashers.
Excellent. All right. I think we are good. No more open questions. Again, thanks for your time today, all the audience. I know your time is super valuable. We appreciate that. We hope this has been beneficial. We will get a copy. I know that was probably responded to in that chat that we will be posting this on our website. We will make sure, I think all the folks that are on this call get a link to that, and please share it and talk to your teams about it. And we hope to provide a new opportunity for you to expand some of your delivery reach. So thank you very much, everybody.